it begins to tell. Round midnight, I do pretty well till after sundown. Supper time, I'm feeling sad, but it really gets bad round midnight. Memories always start round midnight. Round midnight, I haven't got the heart to bear those memories when my heart was still with you. And oh, midnight knows it too. When some quarrel we've had needs mending, does it mean that our love is ending? Darling, I love you, but lately I find you're out of my arms and I'm out of my mind. Let our love take wings some midnight, round midnight, and let the angels sing of your returning. Let our love be safe and sound when old midnight comes around.
Hello everybody, welcome to On the Brink, and I am your host Monica Brinkman, and we are part of It Matters Radio. I have been waiting a while to contact our guest today, and this is Joan Cartwright. If you don't know Joan, you need to. We had Joan actually on the show a few years ago. It was quite a few years ago actually. And I just said, I want to know what she's up to. And it's time that we find out what's going on. And we're going to find out a little bit more about Joan today also. So welcome to On the Brink. I'm so glad that you could join us today, Joan.
Well, I'm honored to be here with you, Monica. We stay very close on Facebook.
Yes.
And I think too many people discount the importance of Facebook.
Yes.
However, we became friends on Facebook. We've only seen each other on Skype.
Yes.
And yet I feel connected to you like a friend,
Well, it's funny how you do meet people on social media, and there are some that you just get a connection to.
Yeah.
And I treasure each one of those. And gosh, Joan, when it's someone who has done so much in their life as you have done, I have to share that person with other people. So anyway, I want to start way back. Well, I shouldn't say too way back, but when you were young, and first of all, where were you born? What state or city?
I was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly where that's at because I'm a Pennsylvania, Jersey girl. So,
okay. And where are you right now?
Well, actually, I'm in California. I later moved to California, and that's become my home. But it's still in the mountains, so you can't take that away from me, I guess.
Where in California?
It's around the Chico area, Paradise area, going towards Tahoe.
Oh, okay. So you're up north above Sacramento?
We're kind of north east, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. So I'm just so happy to be here. So when you were growing up, okay, you had a mom and a dad there with you, any siblings or
One brother.
one brother? And what is his name?
His name is Carlton Cartwright. He's a photographer, and he's 4 years younger than me.
Ah, photographer. I like his name. It kind of sounds like a stage name.
Yeah.
Now, when you were young, did you innately, or inertly, I should say, have a liking to music?
Well, see, I had parents who were music aficionados. So my father loved jazz and classics, and my mother loved everything else.
Well, that's
So,
good.
yeah, when my father was home, we could only listen to jazz and classics. The minute that he wasn't home, we could finger pop. We could listen to James Brown and, you know, Aretha Franklin.
Oh
We
yeah,
could, yeah,
all the
we could
grades.
rock
Yeah,
and roll, R&B, but not when my dad was home.
he thought it was junk, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't real music. Huh? Little did he know. Well, I think it's wonderful that you continued on though with jazz because you, like you said, your mom played a different music and your dad liked the classical and the jazz. So you got exposed to so many different and diverse varieties of music. What made you get drawn to jazz, or did you start entertaining at a young age? Or
Yes. They put me in dancing school when I was 4.
oh,
And 4 to 8, I performed to a live audience of up to 2,000 people in Queens. My dancing teacher's name was Bernice Johnson, and she was the wife of a very renowned saxophone player named Bud Johnson.
I have heard his name before. Yes,
Budd, Bud Johnson.
yes.
And I think he's from the Midwest. I'm not sure, but I think so. Anyway, my mother would drop me off at their house, and I would be there with Bud until Bernice came to take me to dancing school.
Okay.
Bud would take me down in the basement and practice his saxophone, and that's how I learned to scat.
Ah,
So I would do shadooba dee doo dee ba doo dee da ba ba doo ba dee doo wow, But I didn't know how I learned how to scat until I was 27 in an elevator with the two of them.
ah.
And I recalled that he would take me down in the basement, and I'd be sitting there as a 4, 5, 6-year-old listening to this fabulous saxophone player. Saxophone. So this picture. This is my family. Now my parents are deceased. My father
Yes.
passed away June 29th at 99.
Uh,
My mother passed away 30 years ago. Okay.
but look at you.
And my brother lives in West Palm Beach.
In Palm
Yeah.
Beach.
He
Oh,
lives about 10 miles from me.
well, that's
And I
good.
was about 7 here. I was about 7, so he would have been about 3.
What a wonderful picture.
And this was the day of my last recital with Bernice Johnson's dance troupe.
Mm.
And I remember having up to 9 routines that I would be in. So we did costume changes. I was featured in that dress that you saw, singing "Somebody Loves Me," and walking my baby back home with a
And you were
boy.
7
Yeah,
then?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
You know, it seems like because you were surrounded with music that you just naturally picked up on it all, not even realizing you were doing it. Like it was
What?
just a natural thing for you to do.
But my parents led me there. But I will tell you this: by the time I was 12, I knew the lyrics to most jazz standards sung by Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Gloria Lynn, um, and Carmen McRae.
Oh yeah.
I knew I
All
would
the grades.
and listen to these records over and over and over, and I would know all the words by the time I was 12.
Mm.
Then I joined the Glee Club at my school, and we sang in Latin because I went to Catholic school.
Yes.
So I knew how to sing Ave Maria, in the different
Oh, it's
mass.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. So, it was like being trained classically because you had to read the music,
Hmm.
So I went on to college and I got a degree in music, but I dualed my music with communication because I really uh, I didn't think that I was going to be a career musician.
Yes.
And I did not become a career musician until I was 27 in Philadelphia.
Ah.
hmm I had a wonderful teacher, Gerald Price. He was a piano player. And when Ella, Sarah, and Gloria Lynn came to Philadelphia, he was their accompanist, but he was also on the road with Dakota Staton for 4 years. So he knew how to accompany
Yes.
vocalists. The first lesson that he taught me was all musicians hate singers. And I'm like, well, what am I doing here? He says, I'm going to teach you to be a musician, which he did. He taught me how to play piano, taught me how to write songs, he taught me how to put it on the paper. And when I got my degree, my teachers in my music department, they had told me, don't come to school, just come take the test. Because
Oh
you
my
are
word.
a teacher.
You were that advanced. They
Yes,
didn't have anything else to teach you at that point.
exactly. Until I got into orchestration. That was
Yes.
tough. That was tough.
Oh my word, I can imagine. And look how many different areas your attention has to be on at one time. Wow.
Yeah, that orchestration is out of this world. Out of this world.
Yeah, and people think it's easy, and it's not. They make it look easy.
And people think being a musician is easy, and it's not.
Oh no.
you know. And musicians are underrated and underpaid. Now, you have an echelon of musicians that get paid well, but who are they?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, they're all dead.
Yes.
Why are they dead at 50? Because this is a very strenuous career.
Yes, it is. And I think you have to have a love for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't think, Joan, I don't think your life would be complete without music.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Monica. Since I talked to you last, I retired from singing on stage.
Yes. But you're
Okay.
still involved in music, which we're going to talk about.
Yes, I'm involved in promoting women musicians. That's my
Yes,
passion. Because
exactly.
women musicians do not earn more than 12% of the $27.5 billion music industry.
Wow. You know what? On that note, Joan, I'm going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this because this is very, very important. Okay, folks, here you go. Enjoy.
So this is a slow blues, but not too slow, because if you do it too slow, it lasts too long. And if you ain't got Viagra, you know, Jan told me on the email today, she said, girl, you crazy. I said, well, you know, I've been driven that way. I used to be innocent, just like all the rest of you. So, let's do the blues. 1, 2, 1, 2. I know y'all like the blues. Everybody say, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. You better wake up right there, because I'm coming down there to get you. You. If you treat me right, baby, you don't have to marry me. Treat me right, baby, and I won't make you marry me. But let me give you some instructions. All I want is good financing and some fine jewelry. I said jewelry. Well, my daddy asked me what you intended to do. Daddy called me on the phone and said, Joan, what does that man intend to do? He said, if you were a good man, you'd beg me to marry you. Mama said, little girl, don't let him run you around. You know what I'm talking about. Mama said, daughter, don't let that man run you round and round and round and round. She said to tell him, if he wants you, it's the law. He gotta buckle up and settle down. That's right. Now, if commitment scares you, you prefer the single life, just give me all your money, honey. I don't need to be the wife. Treat me right, baby. I won't make you marry me. I'm a woman of the millennium. I'm easy, but I ain't free. All I want is good financing and some fine jewelry. Girl, I want fine jewelry. I want fine jewelry. I want some fine jewelry. And all the good things you can do for me. Come on and treat me right, Daddy. You don't have to marry me. Play the like, okay, you know, I could just stand over you. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Keep still, damn it. I'm going. Oh, baby. They didn't give him vitamin V. He said, roll me like a wagon wheel. He said to roll me. Don't look at me.
Your dues help us do
somewhere over that rainbow. Skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above those chimney tops. That's where you will find me, somewhere over that rainbow. Birds fly over that rainbow. Why then, oh why can't wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above those chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over that rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over that rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If pretty little bluebirds fly beyond that rainbow, why then, oh why can't I?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Brink, Part of It Matters Radio. And we are being joined today by the wonderfully talented Joan Cartwright. And Joan, you have brought someone to join us. Could you introduce her, please?
Yes, this is my dear friend, Lorna Lesperance. She's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she was one of my presidents for Women in Jazz South Florida.
Ah,
Say hi. Hi there.
yeah, you know, ladies. First of all, Joan, I wanted to talk about women in jazz
Mhm.
because it's something that's very, very important. First of all, the fact that it's jazz is I'm seeing a comeback recently in jazz and blues. And I think it's so important that women have the same opportunity as the men do when it comes in the music industry. So anyway, could you tell us a little bit about it and what you've been doing over the years?
Sure. So, I toured 5 continents and 20 countries as a jazz singer. I was in China for 5 months. I was in Europe for 8 years. The one common denominator was that all the musicians were men. All
I've
the,
heard that before.
all the singers were women. Okay. So I'm saying to myself, out of all the years that I performed, and that was over 40 years, I only performed with 6 women.
Wow.
3 of them were in New York before I ever moved to Florida. And the other 3, one was in Switzerland, one was in Amsterdam, and one was in China. Okay? So I started looking for women musicians, not just singers.
Mhm.
I was looking for women that played instruments, like Lorna plays guitar, women that compose music. Now, this is a very, very narrow group, very narrow. And throughout the years, I discovered that no matter how talented women were, they were not getting the recognition that the male musicians were getting. So they weren't getting the money.
No, no.
Okay.
And
And I,
that's been going on for a long time. I mean, look at Motown and such, how they took advantage of so many of the women.
well, what happened in the classical industry, they started holding blind auditions. And once they did that, women in classical orchestras went up by 50%.
They
Okay?
went by talent.
They still only hold 35% of the seats, but it was much more after blind auditions. However, the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra, led by Wynton Marsalis, for 18 to 20 years, 16 seats, there has never been a woman,
Never.
never. In the Carnegie Hall Jazz Band, never been a woman. Ellington, Count Basie, but Sarah Vaughan played piano in the, I think it was Billy Eckstine band.
Oh, okay.
So jazz is a good old boy circuit.
Yeah, it's very hard to break into. Yes.
Even women's music was not being played. Mary Lou Williams and Melba Liston are the only 2 women that, back in the day, whose music was being performed. And it may be one tune, it wouldn't be a whole suite. Okay? So, in 1997, I began creating the Jazz Women Directory, and I transferred that over to our website in 2007, 10 years later, which is wijsf.com or .org. Women in Jazz South Florida. So it's wijsf.org. So in the left-hand side, you can click Jazz Women Directory. Now, I just added Aretha Franklin because she wrote music too and played the piano. So there are 97 women listed there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about Aretha either. They
Right,
think all she did was sing.
right. Did you know you heard of who was the Heidi ho?
Oh, I remember that. Heidi,
Calloway.
Heidi.
His
Yeah.
sister was a big band leader, Blanche Calloway. Nobody knows about her.
No, I never heard of her.
All right. So again, let's go back. $27.5 billion music industry worldwide. 12.5% billion is in the United States. Women only earn 12% of that money.
Yeah, crazy, isn't that?
All right.
But you're doing something about that.
Yes. So
Because first of all, you started a bank to find and bring the women together who are musicians or performers, whether they are musicians or vocalists or both. Do you also do choreography, that type of thing, or?
no, no, I stopped dancing when I was in my 30s. I'm 70 now, so no.
Yeah.
But if I'm on stage, I'll kick my feet up. That's as far as the choreography goes. Matter of fact, I went out last night, Monica, and I sat in and I sang. I was so tired that when I came home, I went to bed and I slept until 10:30 this morning.
That felt good though, didn't it?
More
Yeah,
than,
sometimes you have to do that.
more than a notion.
So what does a president do? What
Yeah.
are their responsibilities?
The president is retired, and I spend a lot of my time. I write songs, I play my guitar, play my piano, and I also do art. And that's what I do. I spend my time doing that.
What
And
type of art do you prefer?
well, I do crafts. I do different things. Like whatever I come up with is what I do. I do a
So
lot of
do you take things that aren't being used and make a new use for them?
Yes, I recycle things, whatever I see, because I have this talent, I guess, of thinking of ways to reuse things that are.
Repurpose them, yeah.
Yes, so that's what I do. And I started out with bottles. I do a lot of bottles, and I create different things with bottles.
I just think it's wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
some of the things that we find, they're very old and people throw them away now. Where they
Yeah,
mean a lot to us. And here you can make it into something new that fits right into modern times
yes,
perfectly.
yes. And think
But the
of
fact you can look at something and get
think
an
of
image,
wine bottles people throw away.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yes,
And
it is.
I hope more people do what you're doing. I think it's a grand thing. But it's fun to do that anyway. I do that myself. I'll take something and make something brand new out of it.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
people, where'd you buy that? Well, gee, it cost me, what, $2? I mean, well, that's
But
great.
let me tell you this: as president of this organization, this lady repurposed me. Okay, because I would call her up, I'd be boiling mad. Oh, they have jazz in the gardens in Miami Gardens, but there's no jazz. Okay, well, she would talk me down off of the limb, you know. She was there to listen to me. And I think, this is a dictatorship. We don't elect, we appoint. And I appointed her president, but you stayed president like four years or something, because
Yeah.
she was so good at what she did, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was a teacher, and that's why I can listen, and I can, help her to figure it all out and make sense of what she's talking about. Sometimes she goes off on a tangent, and we have to.
So
Yeah, because
that brings us to this.
Catalog of Women in Arts and Business. Now, is this a magazine that we can get? Or do you
This
have one coming
is
up?
our fourth catalog. Now, we have an online magazine called Music Woman Magazine. But the first one that I published online on issu.com, Lorna forbade me to publish the second one until I had an advertisement core. Okay? So I began gathering ads.
Oh, yeah.
And in 5 years, I built this up to a 1,500. I'm trying to get it. What page is it?
I don't know. Where did you put it?
I don't know.
It's only because you're looking for it that always happens. You know?
It doesn't come up.
Okay, so here's Lorna's ad. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
So you have the bottle and the guitar. Yes.
Oh, they're both beautiful pictures. I don't know who did the photography, but they did excellent.
Yeah, they did.
But this turned out to be a $1,500 income because we won the free printing from this company right here, Conquest Graphics.
Oh, how nice.
Which
Every
has-
little bit helps.
Yeah, 20,000. They have a $20,000 annual contest for nonprofits for free printing. We got $2,500 free printing last year.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, I'm always telling people if they can help organizations such as yours, which it's nonprofit, folks. I just want to let you know.
That's right.
And especially help women and help the jazz industry because, like you said, what they were having a jazz concert, but there was no jazz.
Oh yeah, it's R&B, hip
I mean,
hop.
that's crazy because people don't know what jazz is anymore.
That's
They
right.
think blues is jazz. They think R&B is jazz. So that's what I'm so thrilled.
They do that for insurance purposes.
Really?
Yes. Jazz will bring a more sophisticated audience.
Yes.
But if you do rock and roll or hip hop, they're going to bring young people who might fight, drink, do drugs or whatever. So that's why they say these festivals are jazz. So their insurance is lower.
Oh, yeah. That's a hey, venues, if you're out there listening to this, book them. Now, your organization, I know they're based in Florida, and I'm sure you have meetings, get-togethers.
No
No?
meetings. We did
Do you
that.
do performances together, or?
We have done grants. We have an ensemble called Amazing Music Women Ensemble, but we don't work. People don't hire us. And the only work that we did one year, we had 4 concerts. We had one, last year, I think, early in the year. But no, we don't work. We promote. We find the women. We have 332 members right now. 177 are musicians, female musicians.
Wow.
We have 58 men that support us with membership.
I love it when there's men that do that.
Yes.
They truly love women when they support them this way.
Yeah, but go ahead.
And Women in Jazz has produced 6 CDs that incorporate women composers from all over the world. So
Wouldn't that be a wonderful collection?
it is.
we have 6 compilation
compilations
CDs.
of women composers. I don't know of anyone else that has done anything like that.
I don't either.
As
Mm-hmm.
an
And
amazing,
that's why I was kind of asking you questions before because you told me exactly what I want to express to everyone listening. That, okay, you both love music and jazz, both performers, and you do dance, art, very multi-talented. By the way, Joan, very highly educated. She's very modest. She doesn't tell people these things, but and being a teacher, what a great tool. But you have decided that you're not just going to sit back now, that you went and did your thing and traveled the world, or do whatever in life. You're going to give back because you see an injustice being done, not only with jazz, but with females within the music industry, especially jazz. And there's people that have embraced this. I can't believe the women that belong to this. And folks, you can learn about them also. There is so much information on the websites. And Joan, what's your website? Because you have a lot of links to different ones also.
Okay, it's wijsf.org.
Okay. And that's easy, folks, to remember. But if not, we will have it posted on the podcast and such, so you'll be able to get to it.
I want to mention that I did publish 14 books. And one of them is called Amazing Music Women, that I taught over 10,000 children in South Florida, also in other places, about the women who were pioneers in jazz.
And you never hear about them. And, that's something that's lost.
No,
it makes me sad.
It's not lost. People know Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, Alberta Hunter, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. We talk about these women, Dorothy
Aretha, yeah.
Yeah. And we have members in California too, Monica.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. That's what I was going to say. If there's women who are listening to this and they would like to become part of your organization, what do they do?
Just go to the website in the left-hand corner, click join. You can pay $50 for an annual membership or $150 if you want to be a champion.
All right. And that's not much, folks. You break that down. It's like between $5 or maybe $10 a month, which is nothing to support jazz and women within the industry.
Yeah.
I also encourage people to purchase the CDs.
Yes, they're available on CD Baby. Just put Women in Jazz South Florida and those CDs will come up. I don't think all of them are there, but several of them are.
Yeah, and each bit helps, Now, women who are listening in, though, they go there and they join. Now, what does that give them when they join?
Okay, the benefits are outlined on our mission page. But if you're a woman musician, a composer particularly, I will do a 30-minute radio show playing 2 of your songs. I will post you in the newsletter. We have a monthly newsletter. And I'll post your gigs, your CD parties, any announcements that you have regarding your music. Also, you have the opportunity to submit your song to our compilation CD. And now you get a special rate to advertise in our upcoming Music Woman magazine.
Oh, yeah. Got to subscribe to that, folks.
It's been on the table for 10 years.
And now it's a baby and you gave it birth.
Yes.
That is so wonderful.
But the other thing is camaraderie, association, meeting other women in other places. We have members from 14 countries.
Wow.
Yes. And so
what a better place to come together. You never know about these women if not for it.
We come together on Facebook. We come together in our podcast. We come together in different countries. My daughter went to London last year and she met a woman from Spain who plays bass, and Maria became a member. Okay. Last night I was with Blanche Williams, who has a jazz jam session up in Lake Worth. Mm-hmm. And I got a new member from that. Blanche is a member. So, and Yvette Norwood Tiger is a member. She was there taking the money on the door. We all support each other.
Well, I think it's very inexpensive for what you give them and the access they have, and they can continually share this information for years to come also. But more so, it took 2 women to see the injustices that are being done for decades, centuries, maybe I should say, within the music industry and women. And I, jazz, we can't let jazz die. I'm seeing more of it recently. In fact, last week or a couple weeks ago, one of our guests that was on is a very, very young jazz singer.
Mhm.
And that was one of the reasons I even asked her to come on, because she did it well, but it's refreshing to know that it's not dead. And I
Yeah,
don't
well,
think it'll ever die.
not
That
going,
young people like it.
it's not going anywhere because jazz is the only original art that is indigenous to America, you know, the United States of America. Of
Yes.
course, the Native Americans or the indigenous people, they had their art, their music. But
Yes.
jazz is an original creation out of the American experience.
And there's so many different forms of jazz also. It's not all the same. You don't have all of the riffs like you were, you did earlier. Um, and I want people to go to performances where there are jazz, women especially, but men also. If they're combined, it's even perfect. But I also want people to buy these CDs. I want them to read about the women of jazz and get their history. And then they'll so much be better to understand why we cannot ever let this form of music cease.
Well, the videos that you're going to edit into this show talk about the CDs, talk about the catalog, talk about
Yes.
the magazine, and talk about my books about women in jazz. I
Yeah.
also have a history book, and I just wrote my 14th book, Blues Women, the First Civil Rights Worker.
Yeah, and we have a spoken word show called Walking on the Wind Side. So I know that you sent your book into Ken. So
I, that's
maybe we'll be hearing you.
that's In Pursuit of a Melody. That's the
I
first book. Hmm.
just want to tell you, we could go on for hours with the interview. There is so much information available. And Joan and, oh gosh, these two women make it happen. And we want other people to get involved and continue this to happen. And I wanted to mention one quick thing. Didn't you and your daughter go on tour?
Oh yeah, we toured Switzerland, England, and Italy together. We did Jazz Meets Hip Hop in Atlanta, and I'm grooming her to be the new executive director because I've been doing this 11 years, and maybe by the 14th year she'll take over. I wanted to make one note. One very important project that Lorna and I did together was community composers.
Oh,
That was one
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And now she taught theater, musical theater
All right.
at,
School.
at a middle school. So we took, I think it was 6 compositions from our members, and we had a 35-piece jazz band of middle schoolers and 20 of her singers, 55 children
Wow.
that we taught original music. Now they had choreography, but Lorna did the choreography and I did the musical direction.
Ah, there's where the choreography is.
You got to work it in there.
Yes. So people can go on. My brother did the videography, and that would be Parkway Middle School with Women in Jazz, South Florida. Yeah.
Now, are you ever going to want to branch out? Let's say that somebody in, I don't know, Minnesota decided that they wanted to have a chapter there. Do you ever think about having?
That's a possibility, but I really think that we would just have members from there. I don't know about a chapter because that entails a lot of different licensing,
Yeah.
music, and so it's kind of easier when you keep it at home and
Yeah, and you would lose control of how
yeah.
what your visions are and how you wish it to be.
Now, I'm a member of the National League of American Pen Women,
Hmm.
and we have chapters here in Florida. So I'm a member of the Boca Raton chapter. There are over 15,000 members of this organization, and the headquarters is in Washington, D.C. And I think that, I think it gets diluted when you have,
Yeah.
because
It loses the purpose and purity that it gave birth to. So I think you're absolutely right. And I'm hoping your daughter is going to take those reins one day too, so mom can get some rest.
Mimi Johnson is on the case, believe that. I do want to say though, if you have anyone that wants to be a member, please refer them. And you can be a member. You do not have to be a musician to support us. We have of 332 people, 177 are musicians. The rest are supporters. So
Right.
join us, help us. We would love an infusion of donations because we have very little capital to work with.
Right. I mean, it's a nonprofit, and people don't realize the expense that goes into this type of thing.
No,
It's
no,
enormous.
no.
But
And I
thankfully,
don't get paid. For 11 years, this has just been, a work from my heart.
yes.
If I do get to spend the money from advertisement, but $1,500 is not that much money. I could use about $15,000 right now,
I know. Anyone rich out there,
or
you hear that?
150,000.
Hey, while
Yeah,
you're at
I
it,
could use a couple
a
of
million would be nice.
angels.
Um, Joan, this is no. All kidding aside, I feel it's very serious that people get involved and donate. Like you said, less than $5 a month. Come on, if even 10 people did this each day, could you imagine how much money that would bring in?
I would love that.
Oh, yes.
I would, but people don't think this is a cause, Monica. That's the problem. It's not like child abuse or spousal abuse, but it is
Well,
abuse. It is abuse.
I think it's also discrimination.
Yes. Yes, on a
And my
grand.
God, if that's not important, what is?
And let me tell you, women over 50 do not get the opportunities. You
Oh,
know
it's
about Coachella? Coachella? Do you know that Beyonce was the first female headliner at Coachella?
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, first female headliner.
Wow.
You have
Now
10
you would never think that.
you have 10 stages and all the women are relegated to the smaller stages.
And this is so important
It is
because it
very
doesn't just happen in the music industry, even though it is rampant there. It happens in many, many other industries and walks in life. And for that alone, go, donate and be supportive.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Say this, in my doctoral dissertation, I did the research and I found out that whereas other women earn 75 to 78 cents to the dollar that men make, women musicians only earn 64 to 68 cents.
So it's even worse in that industry.
Most women musicians live under the poverty line.
Yeah.
So making under $25,000 a year. And finally, where were you when you first experienced music in your mother's womb. So
Yeah.
music begins in the womb.
Oh, yeah.
But women are sidelined, marginalized. Women are not writing movie scores, jingles, where the big money is. You
You know,
see?
I think we do it, but they reject them so much. You know, it's horrible.
Yes.
Well, I have to say, like, Barbara
Women
Streisand did it
also buy
herself.
most of the tickets to concerts. So who is really to blame here?
Yeah.
And women musicians don't know how to do 5 things. That is branding, marketing, network, teamwork, and accounting. They don't do those 5 things.
But your organization has the wisdom and knowledge where I bet they're directed to these type of things just in communicating with each other, you know, whether it be social media or via the organization itself.
That's right.
So that's fantastic. Well, you know, I'm going to have to go because our time's up. But
Okay.
Joan, I hope you will come back again. It's so nice to meet you too. Beautiful teacher who brought entertainment and joy to so many people's lives. I'm so glad you could join us. And
My name is
Joan, please keep in touch with us. With that, I'm ready to listen to a little bit more music and get a little more information. Until
Okay.
then, you take care, okay?
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, Monica. I love you.
Love you too. Bye bye.
Women in Jazz South Florida. Women in Jazz South Florida, Inc. is a 501c4 nonprofit educational organization that promotes women musicians globally through events, concerts, performances, clinics, lectures, workshops, articles, interviews, newsletters, courses, contacts, research, history, archives, websites, film, audio, and video recording and recognition. Purchase our compilations today, gathering great women musicians together. We put women musicians to work and get their music heard by multitudes. Women in Jazz, South Florida. www.wijsf.com